out some work, man. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Gotta get through this, life is a nuisance, tie up some loose ends. I try to be human, find a solution, my evolution. A place like this, it didn't exist, we made it like this. So you can go pick the bad or the good, got a glass half wish. I know, it's easier to hide than just to lay low. Not everyone in life has got a halo. I'm standing in the red inside a payphone. Just wanna break, no, I'm not gonna give in. Take a last shot, Michael J. Win. No, I'm not a robot, I'm in my own skin. Never get lost when thoughts pull you in. I miss the old you, we died with a purpose. All the energy around me felt nervous, scared I would pop out fast to the surface. Had to cut it off before you made me worthless. Torn apart, I've been torn and scarred. I had to give an art, but now I'm thinking smart. I'm keeping up my guard, I'm hiding every card. A royal flush of love, you never know what's hard. With a back to the mat, gonna see where I'm at. I'ma fight like I'm mad, I'ma be something that they can never be me. Nice try, but they'll see I achieve everything while they stay salty. I started to go. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning, and this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting. And I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things. But what you gonna do for it, how you gonna move for it, what you gonna be?
And here we go. I got the audio worked out. Welcome back to another episode. You can see I am doing this from my car here. I just gotta get in where I fit in, right? But I wanted to give you guys an update. A lot of price action over the last 24 hours. It has been a wild ride. We went right through an area of resistance that I've been looking at for quite some time, thinking that we were going to get a pretty big rejection off of that area. We only got the initial rejection, about a 2% pullback, and then up and away we went. So I will say, I will own it. My analysis was off a little bit here, but you know, it does look like that area is now an area that we're trying to hold above, which is kind of nice to see. If we hold over this key level, I do think that some continuation could be in the cards. It's just a matter of some of the macroeconomic data and some of the craziness that's going on out in the world right now. But here nor there, let's go ahead and go over to the chat, shout you guys out here. It's going to be tough for me today, just to let you know, because I am doing it from my laptop in my car. So this is going to be interesting to see if I can make this happen today. But I have done it before. You guys know I am dedicated to the cause. So shout outs in the chat here. We got WixWife589, Al Jr., how you doing? And username in the chat right now. And of course, my lovely lady, Alexandra G, the best mod around. Andrew Cameron, what's up to you, brother? Good to see you. My man, the OC guy, dapping it up. What's up, bro? Good to see you as well. Thanks for stopping by, man. Here we go. Let's see. Could you say TradeFly is grounded on today's stream? I guess you could. I guess you could. I am in the car, so I am definitely not flying anywhere right now. So, all right, let's go over to the total market cap. It is sitting at 2.93 trillion. That is good. We're getting up about around that 3 trillion mark again. Let me make sure that I am making the transitions here because I don't have my handy dandy little what is that thing called, man? I can't switch the scenes. I have to do it manually, which kind of sucks, but here we go. All right, total market cap just under 3 trillion, and it is up 2.46% today. Our fear and greed index is sitting at 52. That was a nice move up. We are now in the neutral zone, but we are not in the greed area, right? So nice move up, but again, we're just kind of back to neutral, which makes a lot of sense given, you know, where we're at with price action right now. You know that about that 92.5 area was support for quite some time, and now that's kind of where we're at again. So seeing it neutral does make some sense to me. Bitcoin currently sitting at $93,720, and that is up 2.58% over 24 hours and 11% over 7 days. Ethereum with a nice little move, that's at 1790, so it is over a key level that we've been looking at as well. That is up 5.56% over 24 hours and 12.8% over 7 days. The thing that I would challenge you with Ethereum is continue to look at where Ethereum price is in comparison to where Bitcoin price was. And that relative nature is it moving with Bitcoin? Is it paralleling, or is it still diverging? And that's kind of the scary part with Ethereum now. That being said, we did come down to some key levels, and you know, seeing a bounce, seeing a move to the upside would make a lot of sense. Right now, it does seem to be paralleling the price action of Bitcoin, but it's almost like lost share in a sense, right? Like, you know, Bitcoin is at 93,000 again. Like, that's not where Ethereum was last time Bitcoin was at this price point. So that's the things that you got to be a little bit worried about. XRP is at $2.21, Solana at 150, Dogecoin at 17, Cardano at 69 cents, just under that 70 cents level. All looking good, man. Really, really nice moves for a lot of coins. Tron at 24 cents, Chainlink number 11 at 14.88, and Sui at $2.97. What a move for Sui. That's a 21% move over the last 24 hours. Unbelievable. Looking great. AVAX is at 22. Like to see that. That's a nice 17% move over the last 7 days. So, you know, all things that we've been interested in and all things that we've been talking about here quite a bit. And it's all looking good. It's all looking good. So one of the things that I'll say to you, as the price action for Bitcoin starts to settle out, right? If it continues to consolidate over this level that we've been looking at, and you can see it has flipped green at this point. Yes, I flipped it. It doesn't do it by itself. But we were looking for a breakout retest, right? Well, if you go to the smaller time frames, and when I say smaller, like I'm only saying 4 hour, but look at what we got here. So we got a breakout retest. Now, depending on how you trade, like if you take the Alex O method, right? If you do the 44x leverage and you're looking for that 1% move, then you got it. Like you got the breakout retest, then you got a almost 2% move there. So, you know, there's ways to incorporate that strategy within, you know, kind of some of the ways that I'm looking at identifying price action as well, right? Right here, you got a nice rejection off of the zone. Remember, this was resistance. And, you know, again, if you're looking for a 1% move, you got it, right? You got actually a 2% move almost. So there's different ways to kind of scalp. And, you know, was this zone perfect? Did we get ultimately the resistance? No, we didn't, but we did get 2 opportunities where we could take positions based off of that zone, which is pretty cool still to see. Here and over there, you know, I will own it. I thought it was going to hold up a little bit better than it did. But again, you know, we've had this breakout retest here kind of laid out for you guys for, I'd say, quite some time, at least a week or so. And now, you know, it's a matter of letting price action come to you. And I wouldn't I wouldn't FOMO in too hard, right? Again, there's a lot of volatility in the market, a lot of instability. You could see right here a nice little horizontal somewhere around 95,000. Definitely could be a pit stop where you see some price action. You know, it might be a little tough for it to push through here, but where's a bigger like key level that I'm looking at right now, and why am I looking there? Well, 99.5. 99.5 is an area I'm looking at for multiple reasons. And again, but I am not saying that price action will go there. It's just a matter of like, okay, if price action comes up here, you know, what do you think is going to happen when it does? And my bet would be that you might see a rejection. Why do I come to that conclusion? Well, I go over to the heat map, right? And look, this is where your liquidity is sitting. Now, this is on the 3-month. So this is a pretty significant area of liquidity as well as horizontal resistance. A lot is lining up for a nice little swing trade in that area where you get a nice wake up, clears out the liquidity, and then it's dark, right? So there's no more liquidity to chase. Same kind of stuff we saw down here. Liquidity popped, right? You got a lot of it come down, take all the liquidity, and then you look on the heat map and you're like, well, it's dark. Not much more incentive to drive the price action. And sure enough, you see a nice little turnaround here. I'm gonna change this music real quick because I don't like having words while I'm talking. So let's go ahead and shuffle that. There you go. All right, so back to this. You can see like that was your precursor. And I remember talking about that. Hey, like there's no more big incentive for the price action here. So price action ultimately has moved up, and now it's like we got to find where the liquidity is. Well, the price action is showing you a trend up and right, and liquidity is sitting again at about 99.5. So that's a key level for me right now that I'm looking at. You know, this is, you know, for those that really can't look at the charts every day, it's trying to identify key levels and where you can see some price action. And then you gotta put a notification on it, right? And that's what I've done here. I've marked the liquidity, I've put a notification on, and now if price action comes up to that area, you know, that's gonna alert me, hey, look at the charts, and you could have an opportunity here. So that's what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. And again, I'm not saying that price action will necessarily go up there. I'm just ready if it does. I hope that makes sense to you. All right. So looking at this, I definitely would like to keep this zone, right? Like this zone seems to be pretty important in terms of price action and being in the, you know, a determining factor of which way we're going to be headed. Right now it looks good. I mean, it's holding above that area. And if you look at the price action here, historically, it's a happy place for Bitcoin. It does like to be in this area. It's spent a significant amount of time in this zone, really between 92,000 and about 99.5. Okay, so to see it begin to range and consolidate in this area would be a good scenario, and it would truly be a good scenario for those that are invested in altcoins. All right, if you guys are in altcoins, after Bitcoin makes a move up, right? It makes a move and then it begins to range or consolidate. That is when you will see that transition of money flow, right? Money will then move from Bitcoin. You'll see Bitcoin dominance begin to come down, and you'll see some of it move into altcoins. And then it's like playing whack-a-mole. So that's where you're like, all right, well, like you gotta have exposure to a few different things because you never know what's gonna pop unless you have a really, really strong technical. But let me go over to the chat here, say what's up. I see some of you flowing in right now, and I'm gonna scroll up just a little bit. Yeah, it's a Tessie. You know it, man. I do rock the Tesla, no doubt about it. All right, let's see here. Scrolling down here. Of course, my dude OC. I think DDT's in here. Hey, yo, what's up, man? Good to see you. Trade Brigade. Let's go. K Diggity, no doubt. And Andrew Cameron, what is up? Gave you a shout out, I think, earlier. French Toaster, how you doing, brother? Hola, hola. Good to see you. Man, I'm getting text messages left and right. Sorry about that. Ain't much I can do. Mark Dutch in here. What's up, dude? David Brumbelow. What is up? What is up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Cool. So back to this. let's go ahead and, well, one thing I didn't really talk about that I think makes a lot of sense. Oh boy, man, there's like nothing I can do here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna turn my phone off. Phone is just blowing up. Turning it off. Trying. I put it on do not disturb. Like nobody gets the point, do they? All right, so one thing that I'm looking at is this area right here at the bottom of the zone, okay? I think it would make a lot of sense from a technical perspective back and at least retest that area at some point. All right, you can see I do have it highlighted here. And, you know, coming back, retesting the top of the range, you see that over and over again. And it's ultimately, I don't think it's a bad thing. Let's go ahead and do a fib retracement off that, basically just taking from the low to the perceived pivot. Now understand that this is not exactly the pivot point because we really don't know where the pivot point is. It's just an assumption, but coming to some of the price action, let's actually go up just a squeak, only based on some of the previous price action, looking at the historicals. But, you know, coming down to the value area high, the range high, the 382, you got a lot of stuff kind of, you know, in a general area. It doesn't quite line up perfect, but coming back down to retest that area does truly make sense to me at some point. So what are we going to do there is, again, let's put a notification on. All right. So put a notification. Cool. We got that marked. So we got two real spots where we can see price action go to those areas, and then we can really start thinking about taking a position. Right now, you're kind of in the middle. And if you didn't catch this, right? We talked about the breakout retest. If you didn't catch this, I mean, it's tough because it had such a nice move up. I wouldn't be against taking a long position. I don't think I'm going to do it right at this point, but I could see the logic. If you were to take a position, definitely cover yourself with a tight stop, because if you fall through that, then you're probably going to go to the bottom of the range. But to take a position in anticipation of moving up, you know, to this level, I mean, it's not crazy. It's not a crazy thought at all. But just looking at this some more here. Let's look at some of the moving averages. I know on the daily we got over the 200 significantly. It just ripped through the 200. So we're on the daily. Let's go to moving averages. Yeah. So you got a little rejection there, and then it just ripped. So that's good. One of the good things that I was talking about a little bit earlier is that you're getting all of the junk. Everything that was resistance. Remember, I was like, all this resistance over top of you, you know, kind of prevents me from taking a long right here. Wait till it breaks. It's now got all of that junk underneath of you. So coming down to retest that, all of that resistance, which is now support, should theoretically be support. That opens up the door for taking a long position. My thing is just looking at it is like, do I take it here or do I take it here? And will we see here in the near term? And when I say here in the near term, I'm talking about 89,000. I think that's the level that I'm going to key in on. For me personally, I think I'm going to look at about 89,000, look for a retest of that area. And at that point, if I get some bullish structure off of that key area at about 89, I think that's going to open the door for a long position for me. All right, let's look at some altcoins. Going to keep this relatively quick today. As you can see, just straight into it. Let's look at Solana. I know that's a biggie that people like. Subscribe, like, share. I appreciate that. Or a dumpster. No, it's a Model 3. It's not a Cybertruck. Those things look like what is the DeLorean from Back to the Future? Mama Boo, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. No, it's just a Model 3. It's the base Model 3. Stucky, my dude. What is up, bro? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. You're catching a shoddy one. You guys don't know, my man Stucky, in real life. That's one of my real friends. So glad he's stopping by here. So yeah, man, I'm doing it live from the car, bro. It's gangster today, but it is what it is. All right, let's look at Solana here real quick. It's had a really nice move. Won't toot my horn too much, but you guys know this was a big call. This was a big call that we had. Now, full transparency, like I'm not gonna say I was telling you to ride it all the way up here, because I wasn't. I was calling for the exit here. All right, that's where I called for the exit. Here nor there. It's about a 35% move. So hopefully some of you took it. If not, all good. You did get some other opportunities, right? We talked about this. I think I actually mapped this one out perfect. Was rejection, pullback, and then continuation. We saw that, so there was an opportunity there, another opportunity here. Now we're really getting up to some more resistance, right? You're interacting with the dynamic reactor. You got a trend line, a legacy trend line that goes way back. All right, that goes back like 2022, 2023 timeframe. I'm not gonna pull that up right now. Let me get rid of some of the lists there. But what you can see right now is you're coming up to resistance. Okay, so anywhere 158, maybe even a little lower, could go as low as about 154, 156. You're just coming up to a zone of resistance. So what am I really saying here? And I said this earlier on the Discord. It's probably time to take profits. Probably time to take profits. It's probably time to exit. And that's what I'm leaning towards with my personal portfolio. So that being said, like, I know some of you are like, well, what if it keeps ripping? It could keep ripping. It totally could, but why not just take the profits and then we live to fight another day? That way we're not round tripping it back down here. And what I did earlier in the Discord too was like show you some examples of, like round tripping essentially, where you get stuck in these trades. Now, the argument could be made that, hey, like we have a change of character, confirmation here, but I would say you're just getting straight into resistance. You could get some more opportunities here. Now, at a minimum, what I would say, and my non-financial advice is move your stop loss up. If you got in here, move it up, lock in some gains, and then, that way at least you protect yourself from round tripping and you lock in some profits. But I do think that you're going to likely to see some resistance here. Now, if you're concerned with like, okay, like you may miss some of the profits, I completely understand. But for me, like, hey, just wait for it to break. Like, like same thing I was saying with, Bitcoin and Ethereum, let it break out, let it get out of all the junk, right? Because for Solana is telling you a different story than Bitcoin right now. It's still underneath of resistance, where Bitcoin has gotten over top of the resistance. Now, I know Bitcoin's the North Star, which makes me feel a little bit better about this. But what I would say is take your profits, slide your stop loss up, whatever you feel most comfortable with, and then look to take a position once it gets over top of all this nonsense. Right? So, I mean, again, dynamic reactor, horizontal level, if you want to go back and look at how consistent this area is right here. And when I say this area, I'm saying 158 to about 162. Look at the price action. Look at how long it's lived in this zone, right? Really between 121 or 120 to 162. Look at all the time it's been in there, bouncing around. There's a very, I'd say, high likelihood that you could see something like that again. So, big proponent, especially in times of volatility, of getting in, getting out, taking your profit, and taking that thing to the bank, right? So then you just look for the next setup. Well, we already know, like we have this zone right here that if it breaks out, get a nice little retest, then we can look for continuation, and then we're looking at the next zone, and that's cool. We can play that zone. And so you miss out on a little bit of profit, but you also protect yourself from round tripping. So one of the things that I was pointing out earlier as well is that the scenario that I was showing was like, hey, if you would have locked in the profits when you made the right trade, you would have been looking at, there was like, it was an area, and I'm gonna actually, let me see if I can find it for you guys again. It was on Bitcoin. just don't know which one it was under. I don't think it was this one. Here it is. It was this one. I'm pretty sure it was in the 4 hour. Sorry, everything's moving a little slow. But what I was looking at, I was like, okay, cool. Like, if you identified an area of support and an area of resistance, and you made the play, right? Let's say this was your entry right here at 94.7. Now, it's not going to be perfect right now because I'm just notionally finding you an area for the sake of, you know, my point here. If you were to make your entry here and you had identified a level of resistance at 99.5, right? Let's do this. Let's talk about it. This is why I'm a proponent of locking in some of your profits. All right, you won the trade, 5%. All right, we can agree on that. So you got into the trade, but let's say that you stayed in the trade. And this is where the issue lies. At what point, if you stayed in the trade, do you get shook out? Is it when you come back to your entry? Did you move your stop loss up and you get stopped out? Or was this maybe your original stop loss and you got stopped out? Or was this truly the point where you capitulated and you sold because you got shook out? Where you could have just taken the trade, locked in your 5% or whatever you use in terms of leverage, and you live the fight another day and you wait for the next setup. You understand what I'm saying there? I mean, or you just hodl, right? And that's just a whole different ballgame, you DCA, so that's different. But if you're trading, get rid of that. Lock it in, man. Like, take that. And that's one of my big things. So here's another example. So this is one in the opposite direction, or not the opposite direction, but kind of a different scenario. Let's say again, we get a breakout retest, you take it up and you take the 5% again. Let's say you take the 5% again. Cool, you won the day. All right, now cumulatively 10%, good. But then price action begins to run. Cool, but what did I say can happen? You come back down and retest the area. Look at the buying pressure that comes into the area that you've already identified at 99.5. So buying pressure comes in, you see it. That's very clear with the wicks here, especially on the 4 hour. All right. So then you have the opportunity. You have two opportunities right here to get back in and almost take the same percentage gain. Just saying. You know, that's kind of what I'm talking about there. And so that's why I'm a really big proponent of just locking in what you got, especially in times of volatility. Now, if everything's cool, everything's ripping, all the markets look healthy, all the data looks healthy, great. Like, cool. You want to hold it? You want to go with the trend? I ain't mad at you. I totally get it. But right now it's too volatile. All right, let's look at one more coin. Let me go here. Let me see who we got in here. Every time I think it's ripping, straight away remind myself, what if it doesn't? Yeah, man, I mean, like, it rips, right? But the thing about the price action ripping is that, like, it happens on such a small percentage of the year. Like, when you really start analyzing it, it moves, and it moves very quick and very aggressively, and many times you miss the move. So one of the things that I was talking about earlier as well is having some exposure, right? Like, you got to be in the game, right? But don't overexpose yourself. But you got to be in the game a little bit to really, like, catch some of these moves. If you're not in, then there's no way to play. So yeah, and I don't know, like, I've totally shifted, you know, some of my methods, like Bitcoin. Like, I have like a DCA portfolio now, Whereas before it was like, I bought, I hodled. You know, I just bought, I hodled, and that was it. And then I got burned, and then I made money. And so, you know, I've been through that. And then I started kind of transitioning to like, let me just trade, right? So I can get in the market, out of the market. When stuff like FTX happens, like I won't have that exposure. So what I started doing was holding my money in USD on Coinbase because it was backed. There was insurance on that money, right? If it was in USD specifically, it was actually backed, and it was actually kept at a separate institution, an actual bank. So that's what I was doing in the bear market to kind of protect myself. And now, like, the volatility has kind of returned. We're not in a trending market anymore. We're in a highly volatile market. So you have to adapt. And as the market changes, you need to adapt in with the market. And so that's why right now I'm saying, like, you remember, if you guys were watching the Nightcap, the NFT, like, it was trending market. We were getting up on 100K, psychological area, psychological paywall, not paywall, but sell wall in my mind. And we were like, take your profits, take some profits, pay yourself. Like, at some point you have to, this is a good time to do it. And so think, like, if you were looking back at what we did last time we were in a range, we pulled back about 34%. What do we do this time? We pulled back 32%. So it was eerily similar in both time frame and actual percentage pullback. And we retested the top of the range just like we did previously. So, like, the pattern, the fractal was very much there. So, like, think about the opportunity there, that you could have taken your gains, you could have taken that money and you could have reinvested, and you actually could have more Bitcoin. So, you know, that's the name of the game sometimes, to be perfectly transparent with you. But, you know, here nor there, now is just understanding the conditions of the market. It's volatile. So that's why very much in, quick, out. And we will kind of wait and see in terms of a trend developing. But the hope right now, even though we're in volatility, is that we actually start consolidating here. And the reason I hope that is, like I said, it's more so for those that are invested in altcoins, because altcoins will start to rip, they'll start to pop if Bitcoin, after making this move up, reestablishing the range and consolidates. I ultimately think that's really going to be a good thing for the altcoins. And I think that will change the sentiment because it's kind of hasn't been great, to be real with you. Cardano, let's look at Cardano real quick here. And then I got to bounce. Still got to shower before I go to work. Actually, let's look at the NASDAQ. Sorry. NASDAQ is important too. Let's look at the daily. There you go. So, I'll say I got a little faked out yesterday because we got in the range. Like, I mean, look at how perfect. There was a rejection here of the top part of this area of resistance. We came out of it, and, you know, I was fully anticipating, you know, some bearish candles on the backside. I didn't take a short on this, but I was anticipating this to hold up, and I was looking for some downside. We got a pop. All right, some news drove the market a little bit, but I mean, look what we came up to. Trend line. I found this morning when I was doing the charts in the Discord as well. Trend line, 200, dynamic reactor, confluence, rejection. I mean, it's unbelievable how well that played out. Benefit of hindsight, no doubt about it, but it looks like it's trying to move to the upside. However, we have not broken the trend line. So just like Bitcoin that we saw on that channel for a very long time, it's honoring this trend line right now. You know, I'm gonna say, you know, being a betting man, in the way that the economic situation looks right now, my bias would still be more towards the downside here for the NASDAQ. And I think ultimately, looking at that, having a little bias towards the downside for the NASDAQ, and looking at some of the resistance areas for Bitcoin and just thinking that we come back down and retest those highs still would make sense for me. And what would that potentially look like? Is just coming down right here to this area. It's about, again, like 89,000. So that's kind of how I'm trying to like tie everything together, trying to get ahead of it, to be honest. But let's see. Yeah, I said Cardano as well, right? 70 cents. Nice little push up for Cardano. Now, what did you want to see here, right? You got into an area of resistance. You wanted to see a breakout retest. Looks like right now it's not able to close. So we still got some time. You got about a few hours. You would like to see a daily candle close over top of this area, reestablish the range. You got a lot lining up here. You got value area low. You got just a horizontal level. So it may be tough sledding, but if it does break out, all right, let's say it breaks out, I would be looking for a rejection in this area where you have the 200 SMA, the dynamic reactor, so somewhere between 74 to 75, 76 cents. That would make, you know, a logical area to see a rejection. You also have the point of control near the value area high. They're not very far apart. So a lot of confluence in that area. If you were to extend that out, just looking at this live, let's even say, let's just take the point of control here. I mean, there you go. So that could be your point that you see the move. Little rejection, come back down, retest this area. And if you get some candle closes above this area that look bullish, then you could see that continuation up. I mean, very much in play to see a move up to 80 cents. But I think you're going to get that initial rejection. So how do you play that? When I'm like, hey, there could be an initial rejection. Well, you could take a small short. Again, looking for about a 1% move. That's more than 1%. Well more. You know, that's a almost 4% move. Or you could just take a nice low leverage play. You know, take 2-3x. Take a little short. 2-3x. I mean, on 3.5%, that's a great trade. So that's an opportunity. And then, of course, you can just pogo this thing, right? If you get the breakout retest up here, get a little rejection, little short, little long. Again, stop losses all over the place, right? Keep yourself protected. It's up to you on how you're taking the trade, whether you're going to go a percentage-based stop or if you're looking at your next level or some of the wicks, right? But this will be pretty tough in terms of determining, you know, your wicks. You may have to go to a lower time frame like the 4-hour. So there you go. So that might be, hey, you get above here, breakout retest, see this wick right here, make sure your stop loss is below that. But ultimately, that's tough. I mean, it's tough to be super bullish on a move like this. Like, you got to see a cool off. It's just, where's that cool off going to happen? I would say you're probably at a nice little spot right now to see that. Especially too, I mean, you're getting a change of character, and to come back and retest the top of that, closer to about 67 cents, to see a little pullback to this area. I could see that happening. So I would probably, I'm going to. Let's go ahead and set a horizontal here, and we'll put an alert. There you go. Make it green. Actually, there we go. Let's make it blue. Cool. So that's a couple levels for you to look at, right? Pullback notification here, about 67 cents. Looking for a potential bounce. Looking for a rejection here at about 73 cents. And then if we get that rejection here, hopefully you get that bounce. So a couple different ways to attack this with Cardano. Obviously, you're at a point right now where it'd be a little hard to take a position because we're not really sure, given it's like right on the line of whether we're going to go to the upside or the downside. We can go to the oscillators just to kind of, you're overbought on the 4-hour. So, I mean, if you're an oscillator person, that'll give you a bias to the downside, and you're getting multiple hits of bearish divergence here, price going up, RSI going down. You can see that at least there, but it looks like it broke out, so it might be invalidated. You got a reversal going as well. True 7 popped on the 4 hour, so that would tell you more likely down than up here in the near term. But you don't have to make this play. You don't have to jump on it right now. You wait to it and let it come to you, and then we see how it interacts with these two levels right here. So about 67 cents, 73 cents, kind of your key levels to look at in the near term for Cardano. All right, I got to get my butt to work. Let me see what you guys got going on in the chat here. Make sure I say what's up to everybody. I thought I was TradeFly's friend. What? What's going on here? What's going on? I'm scrolling real quick. I want to see what you got. Why are you guys talking about being expendable? What is that? What did I do? I don't even know what I did here. I can't read the chat because I'm on my laptop in a car. I have to like click it to bring it up. RS Miller, good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. You guys are all fam. You know that. You're all fam. Let's see here. Oh my gosh. You're not wearing sunglasses in your car. Dude, it's, I should be, because I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like I'm squinting right now. Oh, good. All right. I don't normally associate with Tesla drivers, but I'll make an exception for the crypto fam. You know, I gotta drive a lot, man. It actually saves me a lot of money in gas, like legitimately. And I drive late at night, so it's a really nice feature to kind of take some of the driving off of the plate, to be real with you. So I do enjoy the Tesla, I'm not gonna lie, man. I really do. But just for full transparency, I did have a pickup truck, and that thing was like jacked up like 6 inches. That was my Tonka toy. It was all blacked out. I miss that thing. I really do. But the Tesla just made sense at the time. They gave me more money than that thing was worth too. All right. Cool. I think I got all of you. All right, yeah. I'm gonna get out of here. I do gotta get to work. Dude, hold on. You guys killing me. I got my life here, but you know what? Sunglasses on for you guys. All right. Not only that, I'm gonna put some nice ones on. Here we go. Just to make sure that everyone has a good day here. Boom. These are the Maui gems, man. Let me see. Let me make sure they're looking. Oh God, that is fresh. That's fresh. Let's go. Is everyone happy now? Got the Maui gems. You guys want the hat too? There it is. The TradeFly special. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. I hope everybody has a great day. Gave you some key levels to look at. Hopefully that is useful. I'll try to post it in the Discord as well here, probably in the next like couple hours if I don't have to jump straight in the seat and fly. And then yeah, let me get out of here. You guys have a good day. Trade safe. Be safe. I'm out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity.
just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.